Hey everyone, and welcome back to Episode Club. Today we're going to be talking about Westworld Season 3, Episode 6, Dissident. And joining me today is my trusty companion on live streams, Johnny B. Crazy, also known as House of the Conqueror. How you doing today?
I'm doing alright, ran out of toilet paper, started having to use pine cones, and it's been kind of an issue. Now I'm doing pretty good. Decoherence, crazy episode. Lots of stuff to unpack. Maybe some inconsistencies, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of things there, and it's a really intriguing episode. I'm at least liking this season better than season 2, so hopefully we have some fun here talking about it.
Yeah.
No tech issues, please.
No,
which have been rampant lately, unfortunately.
Yes, exactly. This episode was pretty good based off of what the information is and kind of hurtling us towards what is going to be the season finale in 2 weeks. We're going to get a lot more information about Caleb next week, so we went with the players that we most likely won't see until maybe the season finale, or at least the latter half of next week. So based off of that, let's say hi to the chat before we go in too far. So we have Nancy T, the mother of blankets, is here. Reese O, the fearless mermaid, House of the Conqueror, Sasa K, and Forrest Blurda, as well as Peter Griffin were here in the chat with us. So let me know, and let us know actually, what was your favorite part of the episode, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and if you're here just to hear us talk about it, so if you've never seen the show. So what was your kind of takeaway from this episode in terms of your favorite part?
Well, William exorcised the demons, that's for sure, to say the least. We find out what we all kind of already knew, that the best version of himself was Billy. Now, that's what he thinks anyway. Maybe he can eclipse that. Charlotte Hale is who we thought she was, a better version of Charlotte Hale now. And she has a real bond with the family that goes up in flames, pun intended. So Rock and his incompetent goons strike again. At least they got one right, I guess, when they blew up the car at the end. I don't know how to feel about that quite yet, but this does give Charlotte Hale some motivation to fight for what's right, I guess. And maybe we'll get to see her remake some little kids. That sounds weird.
That would be...
And maybe the dog's still alive, though, so hopefully the dog can be her constant companion. But Arden Stubbs, for some damn reason, decided to pick up the Man in Black.
Yes.
I don't know why yet. He's trying to figure out what his purpose is. Something led him to William. Maybe he just heard about it. Hell if I know. For being honest, I don't know. Got to draw those conclusions together. Well, I mean, maybe he's still... Well, I don't know. Whatever.
It seems...
Yeah, that's about it. Go ahead.
It seems like with the Man in Black, it's been kind of that it's... Well, because Bernard was saying in the last episode that there's a plan and he's a part of it, but then he goes all the way to where we're going. But yeah, we'll talk about the Man in Black. So with the Man in Black, we start off with him in a therapy session, and then eventually turns into this whole situation, basically leading to the fact that he's going to need augmented reality therapy. But before then, he has a drip put in and his blood taken, and when they scan the blood, it says there's an abnormal protein in his blood, and it seems like there's a GPS tracker, because on the screen it says Sanoa Sonora, Mexico. So this Insight facility presumably is in Mexico. So
Stubbs and Bernard are really some well-traveled guys. You know, they're going every damn.
Yeah.
So, oh Rodney, you better get on it.
Yeah.
And what's up, AU? But yeah, like there's a reason Bernard had a plan. Maybe I'm sure he'll talk about it the next time we see them. The Man in Black looks like he's going to survive another season.
Mm-hmm.
There is questions to whether he's a host or not, but the protein in the blood, I don't know if there's some nanobots in there or what, but the protein seemed to hack the system.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, well, because we can infer that it was from the prick in Charlotte's finger, that when she touched his neck, that's when the protein went in. Because I don't think there would have been any other scene that would make it so it lasted that long. Like, unless there's something else, but unless the finger prick was a GPS tracker, that was where they were able to track him, from at least the Dolores end. Yeah, that whole sequence was kind of strange because they were running on not many physicians, because everybody was going crazy after they found out about their Insight profiles.
It could mean he's a host already, but then why all the emphasis on the gloves?
Mm-hmm.
Or the glove? It's an intriguing question. I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure about it yet. We'll see if we can figure it out.
Yeah, it's interesting that they wanted to give him like gloves that you would wear in the winter, more like a knit glove, like not like a.
Yeah.
I know, like he used to be wearing like the leather gloves, but like a knit glove. I guess it's so he's not a threat to himself with it. I don't know. But
well, maybe, but it's clearly to cover up his hand.
Yeah.
Also, it's cut some costs on CGI.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be used as a tool for us to know when he's a host or not, or when it's a simulation, I guess. Maybe. We'll have to be looking for that hand. They definitely didn't show it at the end. I think that was on purpose. But, he has the fingers blown off. So, at some point, he'll have a whole hand. As you may have noticed, it was very, very Michael Jackson, AU. As you may have noticed, he had his hands in augmented reality, but as we know, that's just basically a type of simulation that he's experiencing. Probably, has all the senses combined in that system. And he's able to, use his phantom hand. Well, also, amputees, people that are missing fingers, arms, you'll still have like phantom limbs, you'll still be able to feel it there, so that would make more sense. You want to be whole, I guess. Whatever, that's my thoughts on it. What's up, Still Rain?
Hi, Still Rain. AU's asking a question of, basically, does Men in Black want to be a pirate? Is he going to screw on a hook on his hand?
Well, he's Captain Hook and Dolores is Peter Pan. That's what's up.
But, yeah, I think with the Man in Black with his hand, yes, it's something that we haven't really focused on too much. So it's nice that Lisa and like the creators of the show are making it a prevalent identification marker, basically, into who he is and where he's going, because I think that too is like we have to make sure that we're watching that to know which version of, I guess, reality we're watching the lens through, and we have to be careful to not mix the two up. But basically, he also in the video.
Dolores has some cool contacts.
Yes.
Apparently, lets her experience something like that. So,
which is something that I kind of I don't like. It's like the next step of like those glasses. Just like stick them in your eyes. But yeah, they have Man in Black. Of course, he wants to be the doom and gloom when he's in his first group session and talk about how humans are like maggots, and then they're also like we basically don't mean anything, and it just shows that the psyche that he's in, which preludes to, of course, what happens in his group session with himself and James Delos, which in that we find out that William was not the sweet guy that he started season 1 with, like, and the park forever changed him. He actually had some demons that lie within him, and the park just seemed to make them bubble up to the surface and just be, well, I don't know, like, be prevalent in his day-to-day life, because it's alluded to that he, in like the first sequence, that he was being like abused, but then it's actually because his dad doesn't want his son to be this psychopathic bully.
He abused his dad, maybe. Who knows?
No. It could be very much like that.
Clearly, at least emotional abuse. Either way, his childhood wasn't any good. Mm-hmm. And, you know, based on what he said, you know, does he even want humanity to survive? Mm-hmm. Does he at some point see that hosts are the better way? More pure, I guess. I mean, he definitely saw Dolores kind of that way.
Yeah.
He thought of her as nothing but a delusion, but, you know, now he knows there's more to that. He was able to kill his past selves, and maybe he's able to move on, releasing his burden through murdering himself.
Yeah. The other versions of himself, because he's now the self-proclaimed good guy. After he beats he kills off young William, not baby William, but like he leaves young William for last, and even Delos is just like, "Bam for me!" Like, come on, like with just like such a behavior that is just like, oh my god. But yeah, we saw Jimmy Simpson, I guess, I thought there was articles out saying that he wasn't going to be on this season, but here you go. You had him show up, and it was nice to see him again. I know Katrin, she had commented on my video, basically saying it was nice to see Jimmy Simpson again, because we haven't really seen too much of him. They didn't really use him as much, I think, in season 2. Like, as much as they did obviously in season 1, so it was nice to kind of have the homage to that actor in the show.
It's probably the farewell with a folding chair.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, what you can't really bring him back anymore, because, you know, unless they do a flashback of a flashback with him, but.
Yeah, come on now. Don't even say that.
But one of my questions was, which of the versions of Men in Black was the nicest to see back in this group session? Like, we had covered all the bases, but like, which one did you enjoy?
The nicest to see.
Or like, in coming back and like being presented to him in this state, like.
Everybody enjoys the real McBoyle himself, Jimmy Simpson. So I'll say it was pretty cool to see the original Man in Black, looking kind of badass and menacing over there with his cap on, and it's amazing how different all of the different personas of Ed Harris look in this. Mm-hmm. Aside from Jimmy Simpson, just, you know, Philanthropy William, this nice guy. Portrays himself as just an utter saint to the world. And then you got the Man in Black there with the cap down, covering his face. Mm-hmm. You know, all in the Grim Reaper's colors. I don't know. It was pretty good. I think there's a lot of symbolism there with even what people need to do today, just people in general, you kind of, at some point, you got to put your past behind you and you got to move forward. You got to kind of forget it, start over, fresh slate. I mean, William, or as I'm going to call him now, Willie, took that to the extreme. So the new, and I call him Willie a few times in my video when it'll be coming out soon. I think that's what we should call the Man in Black now. He has transformed himself from Billy to William to the Man in Black to now Willie. So I think he's earned that. And yeah.
Because he is a combination of all of his past selves. So now he is Willie. Yeah, I like that. I think that's really good. And it was surprising to see that James Delos was considered he was like the leader of the group therapy, like almost like mediating the conversation. A lot of people have been saying, like, why didn't they bring other people back? Like Sasuke mentions, like a glimpse of Logan, and I think we mentioned this on the after show with Justin and Heidi, but I feel like bringing back too many characters like Logan and Juliet as well would have just overloaded that whole scenario. And I bet Lisa and Jonathan wanted to keep kind of what was Riddle of the Sphinx, but like amplify it into the fact of like, because those two had such, like those two actors or three actors had such a dynamic in season 2 episode 3, that to have kind of the roles reversed was something that they thought would be like a cool Easter egg, but also a cool moment to just be like, aha, I see what you're doing there.
And I don't know what Logan would have really brought to it. I don't think he feels one iota guilty about Logan. Maybe James Delos for putting him through the hell he did. Still, Rain has a good thought. I wonder how long he was really in there. Alright, here's the question. If you think William is a host, then he could have been in there for a pretty long time. I don't know how long. But if we're going with William as a human right now, which that's what I'm going with, it cannot be more than 3 days, because he would have died from thirst. So 3 days max, I would say. Now, if he's a host, well, shit, I don't.
Forever, maybe.
He could have been in there for a long time. But I'm thinking he's more human right now because he needs to be human to get his redemption arc. As twisted and sick as his redemption arc is going to be, he kind of needs to be human. So I would say at max 3 days. But, that's my opinion. Could be wrong. But this is a TV show, too. They might not give a shit if people die after 3 days of not having water. But that's my best guess at it.
Yeah, suspending that reality. But I don't feel like it's been too long. Why would you do a drip on a host? And that's from Jake Cruz. Well,
I don't know Jake Cruz. That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure he's a human right now.
But would they? But the thing is, would they even know if he is a host or not? Because it was very we'll get into it when we talk about the protein.
But then also, what the hell hacked the system when they put William's blood in there? I'm thinking that has to do with the protein. If he was a host as well, they wouldn't need to put him in the loony bin, really. They could just tell him to go to sign over the company to hell, sit in the corner. They could give him commands.
Yeah.
So, I don't think he's a host yet.
Yeah, and plus also, even if he was, it wouldn't make that much sense to have a host have them. But it's an interesting thought. But those, because it's only seemingly that the humans would have them. Yes, Bernard and Stubbs were in the tuxes, but they also have traveled across the sea, probably in the same clothes.
It might have been more than a day.
Well, because they were in where? San Francisco?
They could have took a flight, though. So, they could have took a flight. Yeah, they could have got right. They could have drove there. Shit, what am I talking about?
Because
you're right. Hey, they're two hosts. They could have ran there, really fast, like the $6 Million Man. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
No, 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 no.
Well, we did hypothesize that they did like row all the way from Singapore or wherever they were to.
I'm gonna assume
To
that didn't
California.
happen because it didn't take them 5 years. So
I'm just joking.
I think they got on Bubba Gump shrimp boat. They hitched a few rides over there.
Took a few.
No, I'm sure they
Took a few planes. But yes, I think the Bernard and Stubbs sequence at the end is. So now what are they gonna do with Men in Black now that they have him? We're not. I'm not sure. I guess it's so we can have everybody together in the final episode this season. Is that why they captured the Man in Black? Like, cause what else other purpose is he besides like as a person outside of a facility alive? Like, I'm just trying to figure. Like, that's the one element I'm trying to figure out. Like, why does
Right, I mean,
Dolores
he's gonna
need
have to strap the pistola on and go bang bang on, well, I guess Dolores? I don't know. Bernard's gonna fill him in, maybe, try to talk to him. It's gonna be a weird interaction. If Dolores and the Man in Black see each other again, it won't be until the last episode, I don't think. Bernard has his own little plan, but it seems like it's completely tied to Dolores's. Like, she's making him basically do what she wants. This episode, a lot of this episode and a lot of the season is Dolores gets what she wants. And well, I don't think it's a coincidence that Hale was sending all the IP information to William, and then you have Bernard and Stubbs showing up. Now, is Hale betraying Dolores to Bernard? You know, because she doesn't want to die, because she wants her family, not die, but she wants to be with her family. She loves her family. And like I said earlier, she's a better version of Charlotte Hale. That's how she gets caught by Serac. So, you know, how far does that go? Does Dolores become the enemy of almost everyone? And does she accomplish her goal before she dies? Because, come on. I think Dolores is dying. At least the original version.
Evan Rachel Wood's Dolores? Yeah. I think, because that puts a whole bunch of pieces together, but then it also makes the question of, so Dolores, like Mama Dolores or whatever you want to say, basically has Hale has William get kicked out of the company, sent to a facility, but then Charlotte Dolores downloads all the software, sends it to Man in Black, and then they pick it up, and then it's like they'll have to, like, once we get all of the puzzle pieces, it'll probably make so much more sense, but it's just a little confusing how it's like, let me just do this and this and this and this. But I feel like that sending it to William or Bernard was maybe off script almost, because if it's going to William, then that seems like if it's off script, but if it's going to Bernard, that may be more on script. So
I mean, maybe this is why Bernard's there to pick it up, right? Like, you know, Bernard was already talking to Connells and about, does he really want to do this? What's he sacrificing himself for? You know, you thought about what you want. And the Connells Pearl, which was a creepy version of Dolores we got in this episode, was different, you know, than what we've seen in a really weird way. So we know that Hale's been changing a lot more. Could she have reached out to Bernard? Very easily could have. Very easily, I think. Because, well, they would know where Bernard is. And, well, hell, I don't know.
yeah,
There's a lot there. You know, I'm hoping they aren't spreading themselves too thin for these last two episodes. Because
Yeah.
even though we've got a shit ton of reveals, there's so much more mystery to unravel. Who is Caleb? What's Bernard's purpose? Well, Bernard is the key. He has the key. Okay, so
Yes.
that is obvious. He can't be killed. He's the one that is irreplaceable. They're the one that's most worried about them. And Dolores needed to ensure some way to be able to not give it up if she gets caught.
Mhm.
You know, so, and it being in Bernard, and you know, he will have all the leverage in the end. You know, we could have Dolores die and she become a martyr,
Yeah.
right? And then Bernard maybe has a change of heart and want to save humanity. Maybe the Man in Black convinces him that humanity's not worth saving, because you have Sirach, who wants to save humanity, his version of humanity. The Man in Black doesn't think very much of people.
No.
And he at least respected Dolores in season 2. Like when Haddock told him, and he saw Haddock. Maybe this is why we see Haddock here, is because he told Haddock told him that she screwed him over. And the first thing Man in Black said was, good for her.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a kinship there.
Yeah.
And everything comes, from the beginning, comes back around to the end. I really wish I would have put all this in my video before I recorded, but who cares? Everything from the beginning comes all the way back around to the end. And I'm not saying Dolores and the Man in Black are gonna like kiss and then explode or something, but there's a kinship there that's gonna bring them back together, and we see that slowly happening. Now, where's this come into him becoming a host? I don't know yet, and he probably isn't gonna become a host this season.
Well,
I don't think.
it could be
wrong.
It could be a situation to like kind of what we had potentially inferred what she was going to do with William and what she kind of was doing with Charlotte is to have somebody on the inside like be able to make business decisions but that looks like them, but then has the control over the situation as much as she can. So if she was to make like a host William but give him a pearl of herself, then it would be a situation where maybe that's how we defeat Sirach, is that William has to become like some sort of bad person or like a good person that is able to like, I don't know, do business dealings with Sirach, because in the conversation that William has, he says, I know what I have to do or whatever. So he has, I've just, like it's part of what was in spliced into a trailer, but it's something like alongside like, something that is like the audio is spliced into I'm gonna save the effing world, which we haven't seen yet, which is probably gonna be the conversation next episode or whenever we see the Man in Black again. I finally understand my purpose, is like what he says in the episode. So
Well, they're gonna go back to his house, right? Probably save the fucking world. This means he might side with humanity. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? I don't think he's gonna be an actual good guy though.
no.
Guy's too batshit, and he's a wild card for sure. What is this at this point? Do we want Dolores to die? Sure, why not? We gotta back up Dolores.
Clarissa has a question of did anyone make the observation about William wearing white when he says that he's supposed to be a good guy? Yes. The fact that he was the good guy, but he was wearing white, but he had blood stains all over himself. It's like such a, I don't even know. It's like, I'm a good guy, but I killed people. Or like, I will kill people.
Him and Sirach have a lot in common. Now, let's note, he didn't really kill anyone this episode. It's a metaphor, symbolism.
Yeah.
I mean, it was real to him, I guess, but he knew what he had to do. He had to get
Mhm.
rid of that part of himself.
Mhm.
His version of the good guy isn't that. I mean, said he was trying to be a good guy in season 2 now. By
Yes.
stopping the Immortality Project, shutting all this shit down. Gonna burn this place to the ground. Why? Because I'm the good guy. No. Okay. Yes. Will he become the man in white? Maybe. It does seem corny though when you think about it.
Yes.
I think this is an honest attempt for him to try to reset himself, but this goes back to the are you a passenger or do you have an actual choice?
Uh-huh.
I think that's going to play out for William. Will we ever get the actual answer to that? No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really knows exactly, but well, Jimmy's in blue because he was the best version of William.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means. The blue's nice and dapper.
I think it was also because it was some of the clothes. It was like that was the because I think that outfit is the one that he wears when he first introduces Delos.
Convinces Delos and Sweetwater to buy the park or whatever.
Yep.
From Beth. Yeah.
So that's the beginning of the descent of William, I guess. And it was also, probably the costume designer decided that Jimmy Simpson looks good in blue, so there you go. Because you can't have them all wearing black as well. So,
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So, Still Rain.
Yes.
Sorry if you guys said this, but was the guy who escorted William to his therapy session with himself from a prior season. I love how just the actual show trying to describe it gets you into like conundrums with English. You can't help it though. Yes, like I was saying, his name is Haddock.
No,
Craddock.
Craddock.
That Confederate.
Craddock.
God, I bet I see. I wonder if I fixed that or if I just said it in the script. Screw autocorrect, okay?
Yeah.
Craddock. Alright.
Yeah.
He's the one that got screwed over by Dolores. Remember, Teddy was supposed to take him out back and shoot him in the head, but Teddy let him go. And then, he proceeded to torture the town of Escalante after that. So, thanks, Teddy. Shut up, Sasuke.
Yes.
Haddock. Sorry.
No. I was like, wait, it's like, no, but I knew what you were talking about.
It's been keep getting autocorrected on in my notes.
Yeah, it's just like,
every time I look at it.
It's like Haddock the fish. Well,
it ain't even a good fish.
No. Yeah, he was one of the Confederados, which I think you and I had a conversation about, like, how he himself had, like, always conversations with the Man in Black about life and all of that stuff. So it's interesting. Take a shot. That he's, like, just conjured him up in his mind, almost. Yeah, I think it was just an Easter egg for the audience to be like, hey, I know that person. I don't know, but he could come back. Maybe that's one of the people that Dolores will be like, hey, Maeve, you can have this one if they ever rebuild Maeve's army. I know Sasuke had a question earlier, and it was basically, do we think that we can talk about Hale. Do we think that the recording of Hale from the massacre to Nathan where she sings was real, or was it planted by Sirach? It seems like that was real, because that happened before Dolores killed Charlotte, if I'm correct. Right? Like the whole...
Well, yeah. It was during the massacre. She thought she was going to die as the last message to her child. So I think there was some real emotion in there. She hadn't been a good mom before then. And it kind of all came out there. I think it was real. This is what, the whole emotional response to that was Dolores was responsible for killing her and taking that little boy's mommy away. That's what I think. And, well, no. It's kind of confirmed that my suspicions were right now after what we've seen in this episode and how much she actually cared for the family. So, I think it's real. Either way, he's monitoring everything she's doing. He said he'd been monitoring her for the past 2 weeks. He could have very well seen through a camera that she was crying watching that, or just cared more about her son than she ever had before. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that one thing. Even though I think that's pretty weak sauce. Why didn't he just arrest her to begin with? I guess he wanted to see who she was going to send that information to, right?
Yeah. I think like most evil geniuses, they think that they want to create a ruse. So he's like, okay, let me just, because probably why part of it was too, maybe, because he wanted to see who she was and where she was sending the information to, but also to infer, well, if homegirl is not a host, that she would be probably one of the first people that they'd put in line to test. So the fact that she did run away, kill that guy, download all of the information, and then just fight her way out after getting captured, just means that she was already guilty. Because if she wasn't guilty, why wouldn't she just admit to being tested? That's the one thing that I'm just like, because if you have no guilt or you're suspected to be you're not a suspect in whatever crime or whatever that you're being, I guess, potentially charged with, you just be like, here, just test me. But I think it was also too because if they decided, oh, I was just like, oh yeah, totally, just test me and you know who I am, then it doesn't create the whole 20 minutes of that episode, then it changes that whole thing. So we don't get the cape elevator scene where she chokes the guy with the cape or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, also when she was limping away, that was pretty rough to watch, acting wise.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I don't know. That was just a really weird walk. Other than that, I thought it was some pretty cool scenes there. But for real, we talked about this on before the dust settles, at how stupid and incompetent these goons are. They are more incompetent than Star Trek red shirts, So there's really no. There's nothing to really say. I mean, she should have won faster, based off what we saw. I mean, it's a pretty slick move, and of course, so Rock was projecting himself into the other room, and we don't get his head blown off quite yet, but she has a reason to go after him now, and let me see, who said that? Oh, apparently human. Stay hydrated. So since I missed the beginning of this, does everyone think Dolores actually blew up Fake Hell's family? It's not Fake Hell. That is Charlotte Hell, the better version of Charlotte Hell. I find that very offensive. apparently human. But I think Sirach did. The douchebag in the earpiece is kind of an indication. Could it be Dolores? Maybe. But, I think Dolores is going to be kind of happy about this either way, and that's not going to go well in Charlotte's favor. Actually, Hell herself may have been on the verge of creating a life for herself while escaping with that family. So there's no guarantee that she really wanted to. She was already said she said she felt herself pulling away from Dolores, and she has become her own person. I think it's Sirach, and I think that's who will possibly end up killing Sirach in the end is Hell. You know, we got the extreme motivation there that we need. We have a lot of other things that need to happen first, but I think it's definitely set up for her to be against Dolores as well. Her to be against herself. And Charlotte Hell, you know, if she gets a makeover after if she gets a makeover after this explosion, we'll see her replace the original Dolores in the story, probably.
Yeah, I think, yeah, the whole sequence of Hale really growing to love Jake and Nathan over the last couple of episodes has really shown the difference between, or the presumed difference that we can infer based off the other interactions about who they are and what they're saying. Like, Jake, her ex, talks about how he got his insight profile and he doesn't basically care what the system tells him. He just wants their family to be happy, and that it doesn't matter. So, and you know, like, that's gonna go, like, in hindsight, you know that eventually, oh man, that's gonna go sideways real quick. But she does really care for her, and I feel like Dolores even wants to have this version of Dolores wants to have a relationship, or wanted to have a relationship where it was almost true, even though the situations that brought her into that relationship is a total farce, because she was growing to love the two people that she never really knew about before, like Nathan, and loving Nathan and wanting to feel very protective of him is something that, now that she couldn't protect him anymore and that he did die, is going to anger her a lot, because it's a situation of she grew into the mother's love that she was developing. Like, it was there in this episode, but it was starting to grow even more because of how she wanted to protect him so much and, like, make sure he was safe. And even if she couldn't be there with him all the time, like, the fact that they were gonna be on the run and try and go to a place where they could be safe. She even, at the end, when she's buckling him in his seat, gives him an elephant toy and is like, "Mommy will keep you safe," or whatever. And
elephants never forget. So that she's definitely remaking that family in the future. So they'll be back. You only live as long as the last person who remembers you. And, I think that's what the elephant makes sense. Elephant never forgets.
Yep.
Akecheta will build their family for. I'm just kidding. But no, I think it's clear symbolism that she's gonna have that family back. Maybe in some type of ending. You know, this will be later in later seasons. So look forward to that. Mackenzie let me know that they've already greenlit season 4 of Westworld, right?
Yes. I believe.
And Sasaki.
They announced it today on Twitter, and they made a cool graphic for it.
Well, whatever. Screw graphics. I'm just. Now, Sasuke said, just look this up. Charlotte is the female given name, a female form of the male name, Charlot, a diminutive of Charles. It is of French origin, meaning free man.
Interesting.
Should copy and paste that. Thank you, Sasuke. Juliet was afraid of the elephants. Afraid to remember, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the elephants in
also, there was an elephant in Watchmen.
Yeah, the whole fact that this family was taken away from her, and she did have that conversation with Dolores of, like, they are your family on the outside, but they're not your family on the inside. Like, me, Dolores, Ever Rachel Woods, is your family, basically. And it's that whole situation of this Charlotte is going to be the one that rebels, because Connell's just the Connell's version of himself or herself died in the line of duty, if you want to call it that. But they show back up in the next episode, or in this episode, with Maeve, which is quite a thing of like, so if they die, if the body dies, then they still can be there, but not so much for Hector. Yes, Nancy T, they have the jacket. You can buy the jacket if you want to wear it. There's a link on Twitter for it. So we might as well talk about Maeve now. And we see in the very first scene of the episode, we see Maeve talking to Sirach, and she's in the homestead attire, and basically if Maeve fails, then she doesn't get to be with the daughter. I personally don't think she's gonna fail, but I don't know if this whole mission she's gonna go on is going to be complete by the end of 2 episodes from now.
Does anybody really believe, after this episode, or all the episodes, that Sirach will follow through on his word? I don't think so. Once he gets what he wants, what's stopping him from killing Maeve and destroying Virtual Eden? He destroyed all the IP, all the hosts, and all of the physical bodies of the hosts from Delos. They're all gone except this handful we have now, and whoever's being made for Maeve, besides dead Hector.
Oh,
so,
dead Hector.
Why would he? What is it? Is it honor? I don't think he has any honor.
No.
What would hold him to doing that? Like, Maeve has to gain the upper hand, and he
has a crush on Maeve. He has a crush on Maeve. I don't know. So one way to keep his promise. I don't know. But yeah, I like I think Dolores even says in this episode, it's like, you've trusted a person who's gonna try and give you everything you want. Don't think so. And it's kind of that like slap to the face of, wake up. Are you actually sure you want to fight me? Kind of thing. Like, I have this group of people around me and you don't, so stop now, or else you want to lose. But I don't know, like, and we also of course see Sizemore again, and he's just like chilling, which is funny because this episode kind of needs some comic relief in it, because it is, if you didn't have like Sizemore and stuff, it's pretty dark for the topics that are brought up in it. But I think and there was that scene with Dolores where she goes and looks at Hector and she's like, how many times have you died for her? And then she's like, at Sizemore, oh, and you only had to die once for her, which proves that Hector will do anything for her, like for Maeve, and for, I guess, Maeve's side of the situation. And it feels like, I don't know if we're seeing Hector again. Because is technically his profile just like destroyed because they crushed the Pearl, and we don't know what exactly happened to the IP, and all of that other stuff. Like, I feel like, I don't know. Like, if that's the way that actor leaves the show, it's very sad. Like, everybody's like, poor Hector in the chat. But in a sense, we have to start condensing characters, even though we have presumably 2 seasons left, although season 4 has been confirmed. So we have to start condensing characters, and we also have to weaken the most powerful of the hosts slightly with killing Maeve. What do you think about like the whole Hector situation, Johnny?
Somebody had to die to make us feel something. I don't know. Hector had died so much at this point that you could see it was inevitable that he needed to really go, just to give Maeve a little bit of context here. And also, from what Dolores said, to think about the decision she's making, who she's asking to sacrifice themselves for her, and why. The fact that her daughter's safe now. Maeve has more selfish motivations at this point, because Maeve's daughter has a mother and is safe in virtual Eden, yet Maeve still is willing to use these other people to get what she wants. And everybody makes mistakes. Maeve has a conscience, and I think she's going to see it through. Now, is this before she cuts off Dolores' arm and fucks her up real bad? No. But Dolores might have to die either way, just because she's made for destruction, it seems. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she could bring Hector back. I mean, it wouldn't really be Hector, because that consciousness is gone. And if there's a soul there, depends how much we're getting into this.
Yeah.
Another soul ain't gonna enter Hector. It'd just be a new Hector, just like Charlotte Hill is a copy of Dolores. Isn't Dolores. So many things that can change and affect this person. It's a theme throughout the season. There is a problem with the last person who remembered you. That's a big, some super plot armor for lots of people. You know, I have some issue with that, but also it's beautiful. But is that really immortality if someone just remembers you and remakes you? Is that still you? I don't see how it could be in my mind. Well, there's a big question there.
Yeah, because that's the perception of, your perception of that person. Presumably. Unless it's like, I write down their
Secret
books.
Records dies more in Hector's body. Oh my gosh.
No.
Well, I mean, Maeve is Isabella. Oh my gosh. Maybe.
That would be interesting.
That would be hilarious. Like Hector with a British accent. Holy shit, I would die.
It's like Maeve. It's like in the suave like accent or whatever. But suave but yet British at the same time. It'd be funny. Chrissy of Old Sons is in the chat. Yeah, I think Still Rain, did you notice that Connell / Dolores insinuated to Maeve that the host and the Sublime are going to be who rebuilds the host species? Do you think she meant it in the Sublime, or will she take them out of the Sublime? I feel like there may be select hosts that they take out of the Sublime before they because Dolores was asking Charlotte to get the host making data from Dello / Insight before all the shit hit the fan. So I think they'll pick select hosts, I'm assuming. Because are they going to make... Because do they have enough of that white substance?
Well, I mean, the other hosts, I think they're wiped. Like... Sirach says that he intercepted the information, right? That doesn't mean he didn't let it go through and be delivered, because he could have corrupted it, he could have did something. But from what my understanding is what happened this episode, Sirach wiped out every host and their consciousness that's not in virtual Eden. So if they want to make a physical world, the Sublime will have to come back into play. Also, they're not going to keep slapping us in the face with virtual Eden all damn season, and it's not going to come into play, at least later on in the series. You know, they're going to have to... Okay, so you're going to have to get hosts you already like, right? Like Teddy's whittling sticks, you know, just sitting around a fire naked with a loincloth, living by himself in virtual Eden. Then you're also going to have humans that they deem worthy of becoming this new species. right? Humans they like and love, possibly. I know this is getting really weird. You're selective based off who you like and don't like. This is definitely almost Nazi territory when you like step back and look at it.
Yeah.
But this is one species taking over another species, and like Jake Cruz is definitely for humankind. I'm up in the air about it because I see where the man in black coming from about how humanity sucks. There's also great things about humanity. I'm hoping he gets a chance to see that. But if there's a way that we can move forward, like Delos or what the Man in Black was doing, he was trying to make an immortality project. This, in a sense, if they were effective, you have the host-human hybrid. Would still be a new species overtaking the old. You could also look at it as a form of evolution. A twisted, fucked up form of evolution, but evolution none the same. So I don't know. That's what's really interesting about this show. Where does it go from here? If hosts live out, we've seen the simulation world. We've seen Lee, how he can be conscious and self-aware in the simulation, but it's not even really Lee. It's only bits and pieces and an incomplete version of Lee. It's something that else is interesting. Could Dolores, could whoever survives, put humanity in a simulation so they don't have to kill them off? And then, or this takes a little bit of burden and guilt off your shoulders if you do want to wipe out a civilization. Just throw them in a simulation. Something's going to come of it at some point. Everything's not a simulation, but the simulation is going to work both ways. For human and hosts moving forward, or else while the emphasis on Lee and him being able to be self-aware inside of that, if we're not going to have some humans thrown up in there. All right, that was a long diatribe.
No, that makes a lot of sense because it's trying to figure out.
No, he's not Jake.
No.
But I still kind of agree with him sometimes. We are parasites. If you look at how we work with the world, but that's definitely a pessimistic view. I also see the other side of it. But he has a point a lot of philosophers have made over time, and ones that aren't necessarily as crabby, psychopathic, and murderous as him. So yeah, he's definitely not a good example. So he's in no position, but he does have his opinion, which I think he stole from just reading books, honestly.
Nancy T, they have said how many total seasons? I think Lisa and Jonathan said they wanted 5, right? They feel like 5 seasons completes the arc of the show to what they want from the show. They did renew for season 4. They announced that, I think, this morning. So, despite how, I guess, the ratings have dropped this season, they still have enough to continue to saunter on to season 4. So.
Season is better than season 2, in my opinion. And there's lots of things to like about season 2, except kind of the last 2 episodes. But season as a whole, it kind of sucked. So far, this is good. I think they're going to end up in a good place. Now, like I said before, I hope they're not spreading it too thin, but you see all the characters about to start coming together. It makes me wonder if Bernard, William, Stubbs, if they're even going to see Dolores again this season, or if they have a different path set for them. Dolores seems to be on a suicide mission right now to achieve what she wants to achieve. And I mean, if Hale is still alive afterwards, if there's potential for Dolores to have another version of herself. There's still a Pearl that's not been used that we know of. It could have been this. Then you can go Man in Black, blah blah blah, Whatever. Either way, Dolores has a chance to even put another copy out there of herself. She needs to kill Serac and get this guy out of the way. Where does she go from there? Because then you still have world governments.
Yeah.
Well, I think we see something from the previews for the next episode when it looks like a missile is dropping from a satellite in orbit. Some kind of orbital satellite station, whatever. That's going to drop a missile of sorts. I mean, because hosts don't have to worry about radiation, really. And,
Good.
yeah, we might be seeing a nuke. And based off the poster for this season, that's seems possible.
I was gonna, I forget, someone was asking about, like, who we think the second body is that's being imprinted that Maeve stares at the end of the episode. People are, I think in the chat, they were thinking that it's Clementine. I mean, it's possible that it's Clementine, but it's just, what does she then bring to the story? Was my original thought, like, on Before the Dust Settles, like, what does she bring to the story with that? But now that we don't have Hector, I guess it makes more sense. Like, now that Hector's been kind of pushed out, that we need somebody that's like Maeve's BFF and...
Well, Maeve doesn't have any distractions now. Yes, Clementine and I think Secret Spy Records said that some people on the internet have been doing some sleuthing, and they've matched up the numbers, the serial numbers that are on the Pearl with that. I don't know. I'll take your word for it, and it makes sense that it'd be Clementine. Clementine was rumored to have been in filming this year, I think. And also she was at the red carpet premiere or something like that.
Yeah.
So, it's good for her to come back. Also, it looked like there were 2 other bodies as well that were to come forward. So I'm assuming Maeve was getting 4 or 5 helpers, probably 4 to match her up with Dolores or whatever. And we could have Armistice and who's the other person? You know, maybe Akane or something like that.
Yeah.
But Armistice would be cool to have back. But Clementine, I think, will be really good. We get to see more of who she is, and we get to see her become an actual person. Because she didn't really get to wake up, you know, in season 2. So if we do get Clementine, you know, how is she going to take becoming conscious? And also, maybe there's another Maeve there. You know, Maeve did get killed last time. It would be good to have a backup.
Secret.
Well, Angela is Dolores' chick.
Yeah.
I don't know if Angela would get on board with anything Maeve had to do, because Angela was a fire and brimstone type of lady. And she didn't, and Dolores, and, you know, Maeve's helping humans. I don't know. But Angela would be really cool to have back. She's fantastic.
Yes.
In the show. Hey, Jason Momoa was in GOT though, and also Clementine will be there. Don't worry. Don't worry, Sauce. Okay, I know you're getting smart with me, and you know, I'll take care of you. Yeah. But Akecheta is in Virtual Eden though.
Yeah, he's in Virtual Eden.
So, I mean, it doesn't mean they couldn't make a copy of him, but his actual profile and stuff to make him isn't there. You know, so I have to think about who would be in the database for Serac to use. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, Akecheta's mind is gone. Just the same reason we don't have Teddy in this season, that he's not really a candidate. Unless you recreate him from memory, which isn't going to work when you need to disguise yourself, you know. I don't know. Whatever. It gets so convoluted when you talk too much about this.
Yes. Secret Spy Records mentions future world question mark. I think the space station scenes we're getting is part current timeline, but then also part past, because they're still yet to play out some of the important dates from the date announcement trailer, and I'm starting to think that that missile was part of the Russian war or something like that, or some other high like historical event that's in those dates, because it's trying to figure out why that little like launch is important. Oh, there's an echo.
Well, I mean, maybe. Kind of hoping not, though. I want to see somebody get blown up to smithereens. That's awful, isn't it? I don't know. It seems like something Dolores could try to tap into with that contraption she's looking at, we see in the previews. The way to bring down the world is to use the humans' weapons against themselves. You break down the society, then you bomb strategic location out of the cities, push humans into hiding, and you start your Terminator extermination process from there. I mean, they all know what Skynet is, okay?
Exactly.
Arnold Schwarzenegger will actually show up next episode. I'm calling it now.
They had a special cameo. Apparently I'm echoing. I don't know to fix that. Apparently I'm echoing. I don't know. That's what Sasuke said.
Well, see, it doesn't matter. We're only going 15 more minutes because this is a short show tonight.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we all got that I got that cabin fever depression going on.
Mm-hmm. Well,
stuck in your home, or if you are out there working, more power to you. Be safe. You're doing the Lord's work.
exactly.
If you're out there, Alex Trebek,
I didn't
your mother.
do anything. It's just something in the system might have been funny. My kind of question to the chat, as well as to you, Johnny, is how do you think this, I mentioned this before, but like, how do you think we're going to wrap up next episode to lead us into the finale? Like,
How are we gonna wrap up next episode? Well,
to lead
of
us.
course, in the very end of next episode, well, maybe Maeve sees Dolores, something like that. We're gonna have storylines starting to converge, and like I said, I think we're gonna see a separate thing happening with Bernard and William. It's more of a long form plan, because once Serac is dead, they still have to take care of the rest of the world. So they're going to be doing whatever. I think Bernard may even be holding off to use the Man in Black as a weapon, because that is Dolores' arch nemesis. Still trying to get my mind around what Bernard's doing there. I mean, I'm throwing out things I think's possible, but I'm still trying to look and see what his logic is. But we're going to end, I guess we're going to end the next episode on that. I think we're going to get a lot of what's going to happen with Caleb, right? What his memories are. He's going to start to remember things. So, meh. I don't know. This where they're at right now, it's kind of just still trying to pick up the pieces, if I'm being honest. There's a lot in this episode to figure out.
Yeah.
What's Dolores' long-term plan?
Mm-hmm.
Besides killing Serac. Like I said, there's billions of more people that she's going to have to take care of once she kills Serac and frees mankind. Frees them, okay? So is she going to run for president after she kills Serac? Is this what's happening? I want to be leader of the world. I don't know. I don't know. There has to be some sort of I don't know. You know, maybe she integrates host kind into society slowly after she restructures society the way she deems fit. But then that would make her a super hypocrite with Serac. So, what else is new?
I don't know. Just trying to figure that out. For me, I think next, kind of like along the lines of what you're saying, we're going to kind of get as much of our core characters together as possible. But also, we're going to get, I feel like next episode is going to be the biggest information dump about Caleb that we're going to get. And it's basically going to be information that we should have got progressively, but they're just going to dump all of the information on at one time. And we're just going to be left scrambling to find and figure out the pieces properly as we watch it, while mixing in new information and a bunch of other crazy things. I think with your idea of like Maeve meeting up with Dolores is the nice cliffhanger for episode 7, or like be like preparing for that fight in episode 7, because like.
Well, it's also Maeve's redemption for getting stabbed by Musashi, right? And the whole reason she did her whole training regimen in this episode, like she has to get redemption for getting the shit kicked out of her with a sword.
Yeah.
Serac thinks Hell's dead, right? Hell is probably presumed dead.
Yeah.
That guy walked away, said it's done. Why would we're alive? So I'm thinking this is a blind spot for Serac. Now, this leaves it open for Maeve to kill the shit out of Dolores. So I'm going for that. But yeah, I think it'll be a cliffhanger like that. They'll lock eyes. You'll hear some love music start playing, and then it'll fade to black.
Yeah, it's like you got her with Caleb on one side, and then Maeve and whoever is the other on the other side, and it'll be just a prepare for the brawl episode, which is the season finale. So, still right has the prediction of they want to see Maeve and Clementine control Dolores. That would be interesting.
Well, Dolores hit her with the brain teaser. What makes you basically what makes you better, because you can control all of us with your mind. So Maeve's gonna want a fair fight because she's dumb like that. I'm just joking. Because she has honor. She has honor, and we've seen that exhibited through Shogun World and what she's actually went through throughout her whole story. So I think she'll give Dolores a fair fight. Now, does that mean she won't use it on everything and everybody else? Yes. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if Maeve feels like she's going to die again, she might try to use it. It's going to be interesting to see how much her powers work in the outside world. You know, because we haven't seen them yet this season, except the fact that she can mess with electronics. Now, how much can she manipulate Dolores? You know, if she should have been possibly able to manipulate Hell, you know, if we're going to go that route, even when she was in the simulation. So I think she might be slightly limited, but we'll just have to see. The problem with Maeve's powers is they're awesome, but damn if they don't make it very unfair.
Yeah.
So there has to be a tamper on that a little bit, but I think we will get an exhibition of the badassery that is Maeve.
Yeah. I think she's gonna do a little bit more training, but then she's gonna make it and then prepare to fight. For spoilers is that Serac means glacial ice and that the ice age is coming. So
Well, after a nuclear event, what do you have? Nuclear winter. So, maybe a very, very fitting name. So, not hashtag overthinking. Hashtag yeah.
No, that's a nice point to bring up, because I did not know that. So we learn something new every day. But yes, next episode is called Past Pawn, which I believe, if I remember the definition correctly, is like a pawn that cannot be queened, I think. That's what it is, I think. If my 5 seconds of Googling what that chess term means is correct. But, so that'll be something. It's like, who cannot be over controlled? I don't know. That'll leave me on that. But, Johnny, what you got going on?
What? I don't know. I'm trying to get this video out. I've had a few setbacks due to just, like I said earlier, running out of toilet paper and having to use pine cones. It's been a little bit hard, but it will be out at the very latest Friday. I know it usually comes out tomorrow, but I'm going to try to get it out tomorrow. Is it going to be fantastic? It's probably okay. But no, check me out on House of the Conqueror. I am Johnny B. Crazy, and I really enjoyed this. Help me get to 1,000 subs. You know, I wouldn't mind it. And then, you know, I can be famous.
Yes.
Right. No. But yeah, I'm just trying to grow, trying to get better with every video. And I'd hope to have a bunch of y'all along for the ride. So, you know, I appreciate y'all in the chat. You know, it's been a very, very good and insightful chat. So,
Yeah.
and I thank you very much. So it's been a pleasure. As always, thanks for having me on.
Not a problem at all. And you're also on Sundays with Justin for before the dust settles. So
So are you.
Yeah.
Well.
Every Sunday at around 10:30. After the episode comes out, we talk about it. I can't remember who's on Sunday, but someone Justin has picked is going to be there, and it's going to be an insightful conversation. But
it'll be good.
Go check out Johnny's
It'll be good.
video when it comes out. It's going to be a really good one. If you haven't watched the other ones, just go back and watch it. And if you've seen it already, go back and watch those other ones. Yes, and let's get Johnny to 1,000. It's not that. It's the man deserves all of the subs and deserves much more. So spread out the word of the House of the Conqueror. But for me, we will be back next week for Past Pawn episode club live stream, but I'll also be uploading my reaction to that episode. If you haven't seen them already, I've been doing the reactions to all of the previous episodes. Some of it, and I think they're doing pretty well. I'm getting better at it. So go check those out if you haven't already. Also, this has been a fun chat. Everybody's been giving us some good questions. But if you have any questions that come up during the weekend, if you want to do a rewatch, send an email to askfandom@mail.com. I put the link in the chat for you. And this is where we will be reading out comments on Before the Dust Settles. So if you have a long form question, send it over there. And yeah.
Email us your credit card number, social security, and all that stuff so we can make sure and verify it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Don't do that, please.
No, just send us a name you want us to call you in the email so we don't accidentally start reading off your email. And with that, I think that's about it. Follow both of us on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. And if you are ever so inclined, you can support both of us on Patreon. So we will see you all next week for another live stream. Bye, everybody.
Bye. It's what your mother. What?
It's what your mother said.
We still alive?